Hi everyone and welcome to One Six Figure Focus, and you're very welcome to episode number, I want to say 45 of The Focus, a live stream dedicated to all things 1/6 scale related. And as usual, I'm just going to put a little disclaimer down there on the banner that this particular live stream may contain copious amounts of FOMO and enabling and may result in eventual brokenness, friendlessness, and loss of significant others and monetary funds. Be responsible, people. All right, we got Ben Thomas, Mr. We Will Always Have 800. That's our connection. I was his 800 subscriber and he was mine. This is it. Haven't seen him in a while. I'm delighted to see him. So how are you?
Good, man. I didn't realize there was going to be significant amounts of FOMO on the stream. I'm susceptible to that, so we'll see. We'll see how
You've
she
got
goes.
those. You've got those rubber arms. We say that in Ireland when if someone says, when we maybe in the college days or the 20s when people, it's Friday night and people go, "Are you going out tonight?" and go, "Nah." But then there's always that one friend who's just like, "We just go for a pint," and it turns out to a big night. We say
Yeah,
that people, they've got rubber arms. They're
there
easily
you go.
influenced. Like,
Easily
they're the best
influenced.
type of friends, you know.
You'd love to see it.
um,
Yeah, thanks for having
yes.
me, buddy. Good to see everybody in the chat as well. So,
No, it's great to see it. And just for the people in the chat who are arriving here, if you haven't done so already, I'm sure you have. If you're smart, you have already subscribed to the Ben Thomas Show. I'm going to get his logo up here before we start addressing the chat and basically talking about how. There we go. There's the logo. So make sure if you haven't done so already to subscribe to the Ben Thomas Show on YouTube and follow at the Ben Thomas Show on Instagram.
thanks,
So
buddy.
we have a full house today, I believe. We're not yet, but we are expecting the great Joao, Big Brother, and the not so great, kind of mildly average to be honest, Marco from 1/6 Fix. This is I'm only joking. I love Marco. um, he's I think he's at the gym working the guns, but he said he'll be in 10 to 15 minutes. So looking forward to having him as well, and hopefully the Fab Four. We got the band back together, so we'll address the chat. Who do we have? William Owens, and he is basically saying TGIF, he is not wrong. Winman42 is here as well. The Ben Thomas Show, obviously just warming up the crowd. Thalia Meyer. We have Chuli from Texas, I believe. The Beanie King, he says. I don't know, I think myself and Lael are having a competition for the teeny weeny beanie. If you haven't seen the Paul Rudd skit,
Love
do
it.
it.
It's so funny.
It's
It's been
hilarious.
stuck in my head all week.
It is it's an
Oh my God.
earworm.
It is.
It's an earworm. I was in France. I was snowboarding in France last week, and I saw it in the morning. And no matter what I was listening to my headphones in the background, I could hear the teeny weeny beanie
Oh
sound.
my
But
God.
actually, speaking about the teeny weeny beanie, Ben, the attention seeker geek, was the person who brought it, the whole clip to mind. I didn't know it existed until I was
Same.
tagged in it, but he's not wrong. He is absolutely right. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to Ben, the attention seeking geek, and also Ben.
100%.
If you are free, just pop a comment in the chat and I'll send you the link. Be great to have you. I haven't seen you in a while, man. So who else do we have? We've got William Owens and Chuli, and I think we're more or less ready to go here. So Ben, I'm just going to start off with a really simple question. Have you caved to pre-order anything lately? Oh, you have a cat.
Yeah,
New pickup.
sorry. Get down, buddy.
That's a
I have.
1-to-1 scale cat.
He's huge now. He's up to 19 pounds. So every time he jumps onto the desk, everything shakes. I'm like, oh God. I was not on the day one pre-order train for a long time. That Batman, the Michael Keaton Batman, recently, it got me. It got me. I've wanted that Batman since I started collecting. I need to correct myself. I said that I started collecting in 2008 on a previous stream. It's actually 2010. But still, long time, right? Like 13 years of collecting Hot Toys, and I've wanted this guy for that long. When they made it available, I pulled the trigger. So
Yeah.
I was pretty excited. And then last night I was texting Marco, like right before I got into bed, because I'm waiting on my 2-pack Joker.
That's where you do your best work, though. In fairness.
It's true, right? I'm texting Marco and I'm like, hey, when do you think we're going to get our 2-pack Joker in hand? Because I owe about $600 left on my DeLorean. And I kind of want to throw the $600 on it and just pay it off and see if I can get it a little bit sooner. but I still owe at least $600 on the 2-pack. I don't know if Kit's gonna give me an invoice anytime soon. So, what do you think I should do? And he's like, get the DeLorean for sure. He's like, Kit, we can figure out a thing with Kit, right? A payment plan or whatever if needed. But
this is 1/6 kit for your Route 2-pack,
kit.
yeah?
Yeah. So mostly because I'm in Canada, so the free shipping or the included shipping, anyways, was the big ticket selling price on that one. So
because you know the bottom line.
Yeah, so I was like, sweet. I'm like, as long as Marco says it's cool, I put the $600 down and paid off the rest of the DeLorean. So now I'm just waiting on Sideshow to convert my notice. Of course, in the Sideshow note, it still says that it's anywhere from January to April. So I hope it's not like my Val Kilmer Batman behind me, whereas like I paid it off December the 10th and I didn't get it until February the 12th or something. It was crazy. So we'll see.
And who was with that? With the Val Kilmer? Who was with that with?
That was with Sideshow. That was with Sideshow.
Right, yeah.
So, which like I've seen in the community lately, that seems to be happening a little bit more often lately. It seems like you pay a figure off, and it used to be you pay a figure off, and kind of like next day you'd get the shipping information, and within about a week you'd have it in hand. And that's now the second figure that's taken more than a month to actually ship. Once
wasn't
paid.
there? I think it was like maybe around lockdown when a lot of people were going day one with Hong Kong based resellers to get them quicker, because Sideshow was like, if you remember the Endgame cap that took like embarrassingly too long. It had been released in Hong Kong, because these aren't figures that are just delayed by Hot Toys. These are figures that were released by Hong Kong, and it was taking ages for Sideshow to get them. But then they seemed to up their game a bit, and around the same time where they started doing their own day one unboxings, and people were getting their figures really quickly. Like I think the Bob on the Throne came quickly. Like I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure Loco Lou was the first like unboxing and review that I saw to one of those Bobos. Maybe it's Bobo on the Train or Bobo on the Train. The lesser known figure. I mean, Bobo on the Throne. No, I'm pretty sure Loco Lou did a really good unboxing review. I think it was either Boba Fett without the throne or Boba Fett on the throne, but he got it like quicker than Justin, stuff like that. But now they're almost reverting back. I'm hearing a lot of this, like people still haven't got their DeLoreans haven't been shipped yet, I don't think. And I think there was a Captain America Falcon, maybe. There's a few. You're right, Jay.
I mean, to clarify, I don't think they're necessarily dragging their feet by any stretch.
Yeah.
Because I ordered my Kilmer Batman and my Robin at the same time, same day, did it the same purchase. And I got the Robin literally 3 weeks before the Kilmer. And when I reached out to Sideshow to say, hey, like, just making sure nothing got kind of messed up in the order, like, you guys see that I had ordered both at the same time, right? Like, it's all in there. They're like, oh yeah, we see it, we're just still waiting. And so I think that Sideshow is waiting for their stock, and then it seems like they're getting it out once they have it. But it does feel a little bit different than the past. It must just be the way that they're receiving it from overseas. So
yeah. So you paid off their In-Art Joker 2-pack this week, yeah?
No, so I'd only paid half of it to Kit.
Sorry.
Yeah, so I still owed $600. So it was like $600 for the DeLorean, or hold the $600 in case I get like the invoice from Kit, tomorrow to say, hey, it's coming. But then Marco shared with me that Kit was kind of like, yeah, we're not sure exactly when we're getting it yet. We don't really have a defined timeline. So
Marco 16Fix shared that information with you. Yeah. So you went $600 for DeLorean.
Yeah, and got it paid off.
I love the way you digged yourself a little bit deeper in that financial hole.
A little bit deeper. I mean, I had the $600 either way. It wasn't credit or anything. It was money in the bank, but it was like, it's just where do I want to see it? And I've got my display ready. I've got my Doc Brown. I've got my Marty. I've got I've been working on a diorama display. I'll show you guys either on the channel at some point or whatever for the DeLorean, because I wanted to have like pavement and like almost like what looks like a parking lot for them to stand in the display room itself. So I've been working on not AstroTurf, but asphalt looking pavement for a display.
Cool.
So it's pretty cool.
It's
been a bit of a work in progress. So getting some tips from Zach over at Collecting Weekly as well. Like I know his paint. So
good stuff. And did you your display actually looks amazing behind you there. So I'm trying to see. I can see Bane. I can see Two-Face, I can see. Is that the DX12? That's the modded one you have?
Yeah, it's the modded DX12, and then
Kilmer.
the DX11 Joker up top.
No, it's not Kilmer. It's Robin.
Yep.
Is the Kilmer Batman on the left of it?
Kilmer Batman on the left.
Yeah, so that you got that in. And it's at the DX11 above on the top left?
DX11,
yeah.
Yeah.
And who do you have as Nightmare Batman on the right?
Yeah, this is kind of my pseudo DC display at the moment. And this is very, very, very temporary. So
It's lovely looking. It's clean. I like the lights.
Thank you. Yeah, I used to stream from like my main basement living room, kind of out in the other room there, where I have like all my like big Billy display cabinets and all the rest of my figures. But we had a gym in this room that Shauna and I weren't using because we were going to our local gym, and so Costco, they have an amazing return plan. We bought this elliptical from them during COVID a year ago. I think we used it probably like 3 times maybe. We called to say, hey, we're not using it. You know, it's not working as well as we hoped. They're like, that's okay, bring it back. So we got our $800 back from Costco.
Nice.
Like, no problem. And I've been able to turn this room into kind of my little pseudo like recording studio now. Because I used to set up all my YouTube stuff on like a cardboard box in the living room out there. Like it was really janky and not very cool looking from behind the scenes. So now I've got like a whole recording room, which is cool. But this is actually the display I used to use in the main room before I upgraded to the Billies. So these are kind of some overflow figures at the moment. I'm gonna do the Billy wall at some point with all the lights, but gotta pinch the pennies right now for display because I've got a whole lot of stuff coming in. So, and
especially that you have to pinch the pennies, seeing as you just bought the DeLorean, and you're going to still have to pay off the Rooted 2-pack. But speaking of things that are janky and not really that good looking, what's up, man?
Oh man, what's going on, guys?
Hey, buddy.
Man, great to see you. We got 3 out of the 4.
Yeah, almost there. Okay, are we gonna get the other one, or?
I was wondering.
Okay.
He gave me a definitive yes in the chat.
Yeah.
We also have Ben, the attention-seeking geek, who's going to drop in.
Oh, nice. Okay, what a crew.
So, let me see. I'm just want to. Yeah, the last thing he said was tonight. Yeah, for me, he said yeah. The big brother said he was. I wonder has he made a mistake in the times or something? Maybe he's watching us now. We're just kind of shooting the shit there and just kind of saying like, did you pre-order anything or pick up any? Sorry, the second question was, Ben, did you actually get anything in recently? Was the Robin the last thing you got in?
I'm just thinking. No, so the Kilmer would have been the last figure.
Gotcha. Yeah, because I got you. Yeah. In which.
Yeah.
What about yourself, Marco?
So I got the Chrome Mando recently. Really happy with that addition. That's one that I keep saying. I know it's going to go on discount, right? We've got the new season around the corner. He might have a new outfit, or there might be there's likely going to be a new version. But I wanted it immediately, so found a good deal and had to bite the bullet. And then, like Ben, I also got the Batman and Robin, which I love. Like there are issues with it in terms of they smell coming out of the box, and they're very limited in terms of posing. Yeah, I don't know what they sealed them with.
Must resist Robin joke.
Robin was stinkier than Batman for me though, and stickier for some reason.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised.
Why, but...
That's right. I think it was ectoplasm in South Park show.
Ah, yes. I love a good nerd joke. Brilliant. So you said you got in. Ben was saying his last pre-order was the 89, which I think I imagine a lot of 1/6 scale collectors are doing that, and then you've got in the Kilmer was the last because you were saying there was a delay on that, and did you order you ordered like the Joker quite close to that? So your last one you got in was a Chrome Mando, yeah?
It was Chrome Mando last, and I'm trying to be disciplined because I know DeLorean's on the way. I know those Jokers are on the way. Just like you, I'm getting those 3 Jokers. So, well, I don't know if the plan has changed for you at all, but
nope.
Yeah, right. I'm all in.
I'm not saying I'm going to keep them all. I'm going to say I'm just hedging my bets, and if the Rooted 2-pack is as good as what I've seen, barring the there's a few QC issues and stuff like that, which. We probably don't have to talk about that. It's been talked about to death, but
it's their first figure, right? Like it was.
Yeah, I can live with them, to be honest. Like I'll just I'll find that pose I like, and that'll be it. But I don't know what the story is because I'm like you. I'm like a sculpted hair guy, but that bloody Rooted was just too goddamn good to pass up. So if the Rooted is what I hope it's going to be and what it seems to be. Yeah, maybe that sculptor will just could be my one to rock and one to stock.
There you go.
But
I haven't given up on doing a display with the tumbler at some point if the tumbler just goes really deep discount. And I know those bad boys have been sitting. So, I could always use my DX19 and a Joker in a tumbler display in my mind. But, you ask Gigi, she's going to say no fucking way. So, excuse me, I know you don't like to curse on here. No frickin' way.
No, it's all right. So I just want to address one or two of these chats. So we got King Ding-a-ling. I remember back in the days when, like, say, it would be like Optical and PJ and Lael and Will, the Fab Four streaming together, and they'd always say a live stream isn't a live stream without King Ding-a-ling. And I always thought it's funny when people you've seen in chat stream for so long, jumping in on your stream, you're like, oh god, I better up my game here. But then it usually just it doesn't work out. We got getting ready to pre-order Mace Windu, followed by Super Battle Droid. Cool, they're good pickups. So have you pre-ordered anything lately, Marco? Have you you've done the 89? Have you?
Yeah, I did the 89. That's just one, like most of us here, it's one that I didn't think I'd be able to add to the collection, just given the insane cost, and then also the concerns with buying a used version of that. Obviously, the suit or other materials could be having issues because of the age. So I was like, okay, waiting on a reissue if they ever redo it. And sure enough, I didn't think that they would redo the Batmobile. So that's one. I have determined it will fit in a 6110 modular case, which I have 3 of, right? And because they're modular, I do have space for 2 more. So I'm thinking, down the line, I would probably end up with a display with the Batmobile and the Batman.
I love that Gigi didn't know what a phallic symbol was,
Right.
and then you had to describe what phallic meant. Loved it. So funny.
Yes. She's a sweet summer child.
She is.
Sure.
Yeah. She's sweet.
And so you dropped the pre-order on the 89. Did you go deluxe or standard?
I went deluxe, and I have a little bit of buyer's remorse in terms of that, only because I really like that standard base. It's a really similar style base as the Batman Forever figures, where it's got the glossy, large emblem. So only for that reason, I'm a little bit saddened that I went deluxe, but I think that deluxe base is going to end up being beautiful. So not a ton of regrets for sure.
Yeah, I gotcha. I haven't got anything in recently. The last thing I got in was the oil change Spider-Man from Spider-Man No Way Home. I'm a big fan of the oil change. Yeah, I'm just going to call it what it is. I prefer if the battle damage was a bit more pronounced. I think there's definitely a softening from the prototype to end sculpt. But the figure, put it this way, the figure, I wasn't sure about it because I had 2 upgraded suits. I have one for a museum pose and one that I had posed on Mysterio drones that I got as a gift. And when I ordered this, I was like, okay, I don't really need 3 upgraded suits. So I sold one of the upgraded suits, kept the other for the museum pose. And then I figured the oil change, battle damage version, whatever you want to call it, would be good for posing on the base it comes with, or on those Mysterio drones, like a Far From Home type of thing. But I gotta say, the oil change, keep looking up because it's right here, but that battling version upgraded suit really comes to life when you have it posed on that base. Like I have it with the half-mass head sculpt holding the Machina Dicadavis box, whatever it's called, and it's a bloody nice piece. I'm actually liking it. But so that one was gone.
How's the detail on the base? I know I've heard some mixed reviews.
No, it's. I'm not gonna lie. It's softened. It's definitely softened. It's definitely not as detailed as what the promotional pics would suggest. So that's softened. The weathering. It's not really battle damaged. It's weathering. It's dirt. That's why. Hence the oil change Spider-Man. He looks like he's been under his car there sorting out something. And the head sculpt it's okay, but overall the full package the way I've posed, I quite like it. That was the last thing in, and today I had a big day. 4 pre-orders.
4 pre-orders today.
Yeah,
Oh.
big day today.
Right.
But before I talk more absolute crap, I'm going to bring in a man who I haven't seen in ages. Ben,
Hey.
Hello.
how are you?
Look at this guy.
4 pre-orders.
I
got a
know.
Some
I know.
flexing.
Can't you admit the problem?
I know. I was.
How are we
I
all?
was good. I was good for it. Good. How are you?
Good. Yeah. It's good. It's good to be back amongst my figure brethren. Yeah. It's been a while, hasn't it? Been a
while.
minute. as they
So
say.
Ben, I gotta be honest. I didn't know you could grow hair. The first time I met you, you were like fully bald, and then I saw the hair starting to come back in over your posts. I'm like, holy shit, the guy's got hair. Like you, man,
Yeah.
I'm loving your cosplays, Lily, dude. It's so fun.
I've been bald right since I had a baby, and now my hair's growing back. I've realised it's a completely different shape and a completely different colour. So
It looks good though.
The power of having a child, man.
might have to get the Bic out again, I reckon.
So is this cosplay
you know, you
today?
could-
Are you cosplaying as like a club promoter or what's the...
Yeah. A very cheap club. It's a very
They're the
cheap
best kind, Ben.
club. We don't check ID.
Excellent. Did you get caught up on this Batman 89 hype?
I did at first, because it's always kind of been on that Grail kind of status, hasn't it? And of course, the whole community kind of stood up and paid attention when it was released, and I was kind of very much of the, oh great, this is now my opportunity. I wasn't there the first time round. This is my chance. And I kind of had a word with myself, and I very rarely collect the lead hero. For me, my love of Batman is actually centered around the Rogues Gallery, and everyone that kind of comes out of Arkham. So, I would rather have, and I'm sure I'll get torn to shreds in the comments for this, but I would rather have a bloody Puzzle Man and a Mars Toys, villain or something. Than I would rather have a couple of villains than the Batman. But of course, it's an incredible re-release. It's even if they haven't updated, things kind of technically, it's going to be a new body, right? So people that saying, oh, it's exactly the same, it's not. It will be a better figure. So I'm just really pleased for the people that will be picking it up. But yeah, no, definitely caught my eye.
Yeah, it's definitely, yeah. I agree. I think they're significantly enough different. I definitely don't look at it and go, wow, that's a straight reissue. I think that's bizarre. You've got your base, you've got the multiple different mouth plates, whether you like them or not. It's a different cowl shape, upgraded texture on the cape and the cowl. There is Vicky Vale's shoe for all the absolute freaks out there who will love that. but there's a definitely, it's a 2.0
market for everything.
Yeah, I'm putting things off for a while, but I don't know. On my channel, I always talk about wish lists and pre-orders of things I want and things I actually have in pre-order. But sometimes when that wish list is getting a bit too long, you're like, okay, what is the most important one or two things here? Then I start looking. But I pre-ordered today from Lion Rock, which I was waiting for the invoice actually. The 89 Batmobile, the Doc Ock Deluxe version. And I wasn't going to, because Joao was saying he thinks the No Way Home line is going to sit. And it's a good point. It very well could, because maybe the hype's died down, but I still love the movie. And
because I thought you were waiting for the head sculpt on that.
I've said that a few times. You're not wrong. And then I was thinking, I'm just going to take the risk on it. I'm just going to take the risk on it and get it boxed off, because it just, no, you are right. I was saying it multiple times, because the head sculpt is not great, let's be honest.
Worst case scenario, you throw on his sunnies and you're good to go.
Yeah, I don't like having to do that, but considering he came out and he said, he did come out and say, look, it's not the final version, that I'm going to have faith in JC Hong, and just roll the dice on that one. And the Hobgoblin was the other one, because I just think that just looks phenomenal. The fourth one is the 89 Batmobile. I went left and right, up and down, looking around the room and kind of going, no, you can't. What are you going to do? and I was just looking at the windowsill here. It's about 120 centimeters. So the height's not a problem. The length's not a problem. The depth, the Batmobile is about 40 centimeters. Just eyeballing this, I haven't measured it because I know it's not 40 centimeters. No jokes, Ben. I can see your mind working. And the windowsill is about 30 centimeters. So I think I'll be able to work something there. Even it comes with that thing on the bottom that they used to turn the car, I think. So even if that's levitated and pushed it out slightly, I should be able to make it work. Worst case scenario, I have spotted a place for a longer floating shelf. I think I can make it work because I don't like buying things and just having it in the box personally.
Would you ever consider, I know Costa's in the chat, you know, doing one of those custom shelves that you could put on the wall? I know that's a little bit outside of my expertise. When I watch his videos, I'm like, that's just, it would be a little tough for me to pull off, but he makes it accessible enough.
Yes, his stuff is fantastic and it's very clean look, and for a fraction of the cost of a modu case. I'm just, the way the room is, you have this room, this wall is out of the question. There's a door here and the artwork wall is out of the question, and you wouldn't be able to fit the length of the Batmobile there. Right in front of me here, there's a corner and the floating shelves come out, so there's not much wall space left, if you get me.
Yeah.
There is a space like kind of to this direction where I could make it work. It may need a shelf, and I think I could make it work. But the windowsill, I think, would be the cleanest looking. It's the most obvious looking place for it because it's just the most obvious place for it. So I'm gonna put a bit more thought into this, but I have a few options anyway.
I got an idea for you, right? And I saw a video, and I don't know, was it the Batman statue collector? I think he shared someone else's collection like on behalf of it. I don't know, but I think if you search like the Batcave collection tour or something, 2023, you'll probably find it. But what this guy, I mean, the guy had gone to town and done his walls with like paper mache to look like the cave, like in even the ceiling and everything. Like it was mad. But the idea I've got for you that I'm pinching from him is he set a blind up, right, so that you can pull the blind down, and rather than kind of being just a blackout blind, it was kind of a translucent effect blind with it was made to look like a Batman computer screen, like with blueprints of the Batmobile and everything like that. I'm trying to, I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah, you pulled it down and then it made the window look like one big computer screen, and
if
that
you got
would
the
look
link
incredible.
for that,
I will, yeah, I'll send it.
I'd definitely love to see
That
that.
sounds pretty cool, like a shade almost, like a
we
shade.
got,
Yeah, cool.
Yeah,
Mr. Mom is here. So Ryan, hey everyone, hope you're all having a great, presume that's a great stream, or able to catch a live stream. Good stuff. Mr. Mom, Ryan's Collectibles, or Mr. Mom's Collectibles, Ryan in the chat, how are you? I was watching you on Hot Toys Hotline last night. So Costa reckons it's not that hard to do. I think he could be a bit of modesty there, but then again, you know, the videos explain all of that. So if you haven't done so already, check out the Pop Culture Living Room. Costa makes some fantastic cases over there.
You know, the messaging that he and, you know, Posing for Peter also, you know, took his inspiration. They're like, you know, you could do it. You don't know what you can do unless you try it, really. And I'm like, I have a sense of what I can't do, but it makes me so tempted because they're very inspirational.
Yeah. And we got Connor, I presume this is Connor in the Hot Toys Hotline. Again, I was watching Hot Toys Hotline earlier on today. So just do some demolition on the ceiling, some upward space. Yeah, I don't think that's going to work for me. So we'll just have a quick look at this video, which will probably demonetize me, but who cares? So who do we have? I'm going to be able to share this properly. Because I just want to quickly touch on
I'll
this.
try and find the point that it's
Oh, actually, very quickly, I forgot to do this at the start. So what we'll be doing today, so new videos, new live streams, and we're going to be talking about flashulation. That is open to discussion, but that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to go with Speculate, based on the Flash trailer, what 1/6 scale collectibles we could be getting. So videos live on the channel, my thoughts on Ant-Man, thoughts on the Wasp. This is my thoughts on Cox. And Shang-Chi, 89 Batman. I can't keep a straight face. It's Charlie Cox, people. 89 enabling stream is up. Bit of shopping I did last night. And then Visions, hopefully with Luminara later on tonight. And now, we're going to be getting to this very, very briefly. But we're going to take a quick look at this promotional video that they had.
Shane, I'm pretty disappointed in you that you didn't come up with a cool title for the Shang-Chi and his man boobs. Like, it just feels like a missed opportunity. But
you know what?
time.
Someone else said Shang-Chi cheese or something like that before.
That's right.
And then I actually heard that and I was like, oh, is that a thing? And I had to Google. All right, very clever. I like that. I appreciate.
It is.
I
a
just love a
thing
good
for sure.
pun. Yeah.
I had not noticed that until Will Foxification mentioned it the other day, and now I can't unsee it. Like, it's
Same.
totally devastated the figure for me.
He's the one that
Same.
broke the glass for me too.
Yeah.
I've personally been quite offended by this man boob talk because as a man who owns a pair himself, I'd be more than happy to look like Shang-Chi.
I mean,
That's
that's
true.
fair.
From a fellow owner, I do agree.
They are not.
If you start swinging around the room like you did in the bus scene, though, I won't judge at all. I'm just saying.
No, the bus scene was. Is it the bus scene now or the bust scene? I'm just wondering.
There
Nice.
you go. He's back, baby.
There's the
He's
pun.
back.
On that note, I'm going to play this video and then I've got to change these headphones because they're really annoying me. I'm charging the other ones, so.
I want you to tell all your friends about me.
What are you?
I'm Batman.
Uh-oh.
Oh, that was giving me the chills. That's
It's
unfortunate.
just, it gets you there, doesn't it?
It
Like,
does.
you
It
know,
does.
that,
Takes me right
that
back.
music, man.
Yeah.
That's our movie of the week for CW as well. And I had not
wicked.
revisited this film for quite a while. I think I've seen Batman Returns.
I've changed my mind. I'm getting it.
There
Oh
you
my
go,
God,
all
so
in.
beautiful. That's all it took. That's all it took. A little bit of the music, a little bit of flash photography. Love to see it. A little
Just a
strange
little
fun
push.
fact for me about Batman Returns. So my nanny is British, and for whatever reason, when I was younger, she loved Miss Vicky's salt and vinegar chips. And I would go to her place, and she would always put on Batman Returns and give me a bowl of Miss Vicky's salt and vinegar chips. So now every time I think of that movie, I get hungry for chips. Weirdest thing ever.
Little
But
Pavlovian. That's amazing, man. Memories like that are the reason why we collect a lot of these things.
for sure.
And now you've just put salt and vinegar chips in my head now. I'm going to have to get some later.
100%,
Like,
so
it's a
good.
good thing, yeah. Well, look, we're just going to touch on this briefly, but is that BAP computer coming? Is the 89 Joker coming or not?
Definitely. And definitely.
You think
Yeah.
both?
I think both.
I agree with
Ben?
that. I think they're all in.
This is why he's here. Go on.
I think it would be a really odd. So, were you saying that the Bat computer is just going to be released individually? Like that's very
yeah.
unique for Hot Toys. Like,
Mhm.
I'm trying to think of the last time, or if they've ever just released a base or a diorama or something of that sort. I mean, it would be a real first of its kind. Like, so I don't know. I can't see that happening, but we'll see. And obviously, there's lots of speculation and stuff about Nicholson's likeness and stuff like that. And I don't know whether they'll be bothered to kind of get into that too much. Like, I think they will feel like the Batman 89 has scratched people's, itch for them on the franchise, and they'll, if anything, and maybe this is hopeful because this is my favorite film, but if anything, I think they'll look to move on to Batman Returns, just because they haven't touched that Catwoman once yet. They haven't touched that Penguin once. So
That would be amazing. That would be amazing.
That's wishful thinking maybe.
Connor's got you there.
Okay, yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, that's.
I also
fair
thought
point.
maybe a
I'll
two-pack
leave.
with
Bye.
a two-pack with a computer with
No,
like
don't.
a suited up Bruce Wayne, Keaton Bruce, possible.
Yeah, now you're talking.
Okay.
Oh, you've provoked some thought now. I actually own these and I didn't even think of that.
Yeah,
that's
well,
it,
fuck
yeah.
me then, guys. I'm sorry.
Mark 6 gantry. Yeah,
They're
They do
keeping
have
us
points.
honest. That's all right.
You know what?
They're keeping
Love
us
to see
honest,
it.
yeah.
I don't do a one sip scale stream for like a month, and this is what happens. You see,
This is it. This is it. You need to see. You need to come back once a week. You see. I think.
inexperienced Philistine, get him off.
I used to have honey and peanut butter sandwiches when I watched the Tick cartoon as a kid. Anytime I think of the theme song, that's good.
That's fair.
It's the same Pavlovian reaction. Now, I don't know what that word means, but does this mean when one thing makes you think about something else, or
It's
Yeah.
referring to Pavlov's dog. Go ahead, Ben. I know
You go
got
ahead.
this in the
You
chamber.
already had it. But, yeah, but it's basically
Basically-
that.
please
Where
someone
he would
culture
ring
me?
a bell and then the dog would drool because it would think that it was going to get dinner. He removed the dinner, rang the bell, the dog would still drool because he's basically linked that in the brain.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
I just thought
It's,
pavlova, like the dessert.
Pavlov was lovely.
I don't even know what that is. Can you educate us on that?
Meringue, basically, isn't it? Meringue.
Right.
Yeah.
A load of meringue and a load of cream and then some fruit, but you don't, you can pick them off. Don't mind that. Like, but all the good stuff's in the sugar. What's it, maybe egg whites and sugar or something like that? It's bloody good though. It's a straight reissue. If it's a straight reissue, they may not have to worry about the likeness rights. Okay, maybe that could be a way around this Nicholson. I think a lot of this Nicholson being awkward with his rights thing. Where's the, like, I think
Where's
that's a
the
lot
source?
of speculation.
Yeah,
Where's
like-
the source? I think one person in the community said that one time and everyone ran with it. They just assumed, he doesn't have to have, he doesn't have to have his sell his likeness rights. He's a multi-millionaire, like, but people love money. So I don't know. I think that's just something. I feel like one or two streamers said that, and then everyone latched on to it. I've never seen anything to kind of document that, or you know what I mean. Like, but
I think it's the same thing with Harrison Ford as well. Sorry, Ben. Where everyone's saying, "Oh, there's no way we'd ever get another Han Solo. He's too precious." I'm like, he's going to be in a Marvel movie as Thunderbolt Ross. He's obviously not too adverse to being in these big franchises anymore.
when he did The Force Awakens, like, he was interviewed, and I'm paraphrasing, but the gist of it, he said, "Yeah, look, the money was great." And he basically
There you
said,
go.
"I did this for the money." So that
Yeah.
backs up. If someone's going, "Hey, can we have your likeness rights? Give me enough
What a
money,
gem.
grand." But then again, they
That's
might
right.
be able to afford. But
What were you saying, Ben?
Um,
Sorry, I cut you off.
I was gonna
there.
say too, I'm hoping for the Joker, honestly, because I've also got the Gargoyle base coming with my deluxe Batman, and obviously, the Gargoyle is what takes the Joker down at the end of that film. No spoilers. Hopefully, everybody's seen it, but I think that could make for a really cool display if you could figure out a way to kind of have the Joker suspended and attached to the Gargoyle. Could be a really cool looking display. But also, the Mars Toys offerings have been pretty good. I know, like the kind of the resculpting from that original Hot Toys version has a bit of like slightly weird eyes. I think if you compare them side by side, but I think if you don't have them side by side, it looks pretty cool. And then we've also got kind of like the melted face look that he has in the art studio when he's with Vicky Vale, and his makeup is running off of his face, which is pretty cool. So I don't know. I could see Hot Toys doing it.
I can see it happen. So like we're kind of like, do you want to just go straight into like flashulation, speculation of what? I can't keep a straight face anyway.
How many times have you boys watched this trailer? Like, I'm so hyped off this film. I've seen this so many times at this point.
I've only watched it once.
Like, I want to. You know what? That's a great question. So, Marco, you answer that first, because I'm really happy Ben's here, because me and Ben are kind of like, when it comes to the DCU, I think we agree a lot of them. you know. But
But I think they're
go-
trying to bridge this for you, right? They're trying to make that association, maybe a Pavlovian association. When you see Keaton's Batman, you think of. No, I'm joking. But yeah, no, I've watched the trailer multiple times. I've seen like the new Rockstars breakdown, the Screen Crush breakdown of like all the Easter eggs. So try not to spoil the movie for myself, but just incredibly hyped.
Actually, you might be the man to ask. When I saw Ben Affleck, driving through whatever city that was, with that really, really nice comic book kind of hat tip, blue cowl, blue cape, and grey, suit on top of a thing that looked kind of like a bat pod, I did get Dark Knight vibes. And I haven't actually watched the YouTube clip, but the thumbnail is something like. New Flash trailer, Dark Knight Easter egg. So you said you watched the new Rockstars. Did they mention some sort of a Dark Knight Easter egg? What was it?
Not from anything
No?
that I've seen. They have not mentioned the Dark Knight at all.
Mm-hmm. Anyone?
I'm surprised. Those guys usually, if someone like raises their eyebrow, they're like, "Oh, well, the way that they raise their eyebrow goes back to the comic books where this guy raised his eyebrow in a very similar way."
But there was just so much in the trailer, right?
Was that a
I
Black
don't even
Adam
know
though? There was a lot of eyebrow raising in Black
That's
Adam. It was like a thing, So,
Exactly. Confirms.
so you've watched the lot. What
I
about
have.
Ben?
Which one? Ben squared or Ben?
Oh,
number one?
sorry. Yeah, we're in that Canadian Ben.
Double the Ben, double the fun. I've only watched it once on purpose. I don't like having things spoiled for me. I recently watched Quantum Mania, and I only watched the very first trailer of that film.
Sorry to
And
hear
even
that.
still, I felt like a ton of it was kind of alluded to through the very first trailer. So I'm like, I broke my own rule. I try to not watch the trailers. The only reason I watched this one was because Sean and I, we didn't get to see the Super Bowl. So we watched the Super Bowl highlights of the game and then all of the trailers and stuff from that event. So, but I was still really friggin' hyped, obviously. It's like, I didn't love the new DCEU with Batfleck, but I think it's still going to be pretty cool either way. The only thing that I will say that I'm kind of not necessarily bummed about, but if they were going to give us a blue and gray suit for Batman, I was hoping, and maybe they still will get that out of the new Batman from the new James Gunn DC reboot universe that he's giving us at this point, because we haven't really got to see a blue and gray and yellow suit from any of the other films, other than if you're going back to like the TV show The Adam West days, right? But that comic book style, like it's one of my all-time favorite looks for Batman. So I think that would be a really, really cool movie adaptation if they could do it well.
So Ben, have you watched this Flash trailer?
Yeah, seen it a handful of times. I do feel extra cynical now when approaching kind of DC projects until we get that first one where
the hate. Yes.
I feel
Rise
it
up
coursing
inside
through
you.
my veins. Yeah, like until kind of Gunn fully takes charge, like I'm definitely kind of approaching this with a cautious optimism, I guess, or cynicism maybe, because like some of the effects even in the trailer, some of the effects still sort of took me back to that kind of Black Adam sort of desensitized, sort of people getting thrown through buildings and stuff like that with the Supergirl scenes. It felt very kind of that nature, and I don't know, I'm excited, but it's also as well like Keaton Batman, it's obviously an absolute joy to see him back, and that completely preys on our kind of nostalgia, but I love like Batman Returns, and I'm so happy that was the final thing I saw Keaton Batman in, because that's my final memory of him, and I almost don't want my new final memory of him in the suit to be one that is associated with like a negative film. So I've got lots of concerns, but it was a really well put together trailer. Like, I think it's, we know we're getting Supergirl, we know we're getting Sod back, and Michael Shannon's just was incredible in that Man of Steel film. Whatever you think of the actual film, I think he did a really good job. We know we're getting at least 2 Batman, at least 2 Flash. So Ezra Miller, being Ezra Miller aside, I actually really like his version of the Flash, the character. So I am looking forward to kind of seeing his kind of quips and stuff like that again. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it more than Shazam Fury of God, to put it that way.
100%. And on the
High
Ezra Miller
praise.
front, though,
High
too,
praise.
right? All the horrendous things that he did, and they still didn't cancel this movie, really tells me that they've got such high hopes for it that they're like, we just can't cancel it. Just hold on, everyone,
I
forget
hope
about
so,
it.
money.
We've got to
Or
keep
I was
it-
going to say, or absorbent amounts of money.
Yeah, well, they've invested
someone-
a lot for sure.
I heard this was originally supposed to be just on like a HBO Max type of thing, and next thing I see like in cinemas June 16th or something. Is this coming out in the cinema? This is a
It
cinematic
is.
release. Is
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
I think you're thinking of the Batgirl was supposed to be the one that was designed for HBO
Oh, right,
Max
okay,
that
okay.
Keaton was going to show up in that they scrapped.
And I
Right,
think, to
okay.
be fair, like James Gunn has obviously, since coming in, facilitated kind of reshoots, which will serve his story in terms of the reset and how that's all going to work. So I'm really sort of intrigued to see how that all plays out as well. So that's a big selling point for me coming into this film, to be honest.
Yeah, I'll summarize my thoughts really quickly on the trailer before we actually start flashulation. The DCU, I no. I think me and you are probably the only 2 people, Ben, who are kind of going, definitely on live streams, kind of going, James Gunn taking over, good. Like I don't really particularly care that the DCU is being scrapped, whether it's Cavill or Gal Gadot or whatever, because I just didn't think the movies were good. Man of Steel, yeah, okay. I thought that was okay. I thought that was actually a good film. I don't think it was like an amazing film, but I thought, yeah, this could be the start of a really good trilogy, but it just didn't go like that.
Did you
know
see it
what I
when
mean?
it first came out, or did you see it years after the fact?
No, I saw it pretty much opening night.
Yeah.
As in, like, and I thought it was solid. Like there was aspects I really like Cavill as Superman. I think he just looks the part for starters. Anyway, thought he did a good job. I thought Kevin Costner's performance in that was great. I loved their relationship. I actually liked the whole 2 superhumans throwing each other through buildings. I thought that was pretty cool. Like, but like Batman versus Superman, like even though like I have a Justice League Superman there, but that was because I like Henry Cavill as Superman and I love the vibrancy of that suit, but I really didn't like either of those movies. I'm a big fan of The Dark Knight Returns, the graphic novel, and the animated version. Batman versus Superman, on the other hand, I don't think is a particularly great movie, but there's aspects I like. For example, the design of the suit, so hence that's why that's sitting there.
Sorry to interrupt,
Batfleck-
Shane. Did you ever watch the extended version of Batman vs Superman?
Yeah, I actually no, I bought it. Like I have the 2 of them. I'm still a film fan. Like you mean so much so that I can't say film correctly. But the
I asked
the
because
DC
I liked the extended version way more than like the original cut. I thought it added a lot more context around like why they were after each other, as opposed to it like in the original theatrical cut. They kind of they jumped a lot of like kind of story building and went right to the fight, and that seemed a bit janky. But
I think it was like I don't want to go like off on a complete tangent trash in that particular film, but like just a few kind of aspects of it. Like I genuinely every time Gal Gadot came on the screen and they played that weird siren music, I cringed, to be honest. The big monster thing at the end, I just can't. I just can't. deal
Man,
with
those are
that.
2 aspects of the film that I really enjoyed too.
No. The general script and Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor. Please, come on. I'd rather watch Paint Dry. Personally, that's just my opinion. I'm not into the DCU, but with the exception of maybe the second Suicide Squad movie, which I thought was great.
Thank you.
Aspects of Batman vs Superman, and I did enjoy Man of Steel in fairness. But so when they announced they're trashing this, I was like, I'm a bit sickened for the people that really like those characters, because I get like if it was like there was, I don't know if there was I don't know if there was a series or something. Let's say the Mandalorian's going on, and it's like, no, we're just going to do a rogue pull in this. I'd be like, oh man, but it's a good show. Why would you just do that? Like, you know.
But
what
I
mean?
think
So
even
I
folks that really
yeah.
enjoyed the DCEU or the Snyderverse as it was constructed, like myself, you know, movies were very imperfect. There were some stinkers in there. Even Batman versus Superman, which I enjoy, I understand is not a good movie. Like there's some really idiotic stuff that occurs. So I enjoyed it. I've got a bunch of the figures. I know it was ready for a reboot as well. So, you know, I think there could be folks that are in that middle camp that are like, okay, it was a nice run, but it's time for a refresh. And I'm glad that James Gunn is kind of taking the reins.
It's a shame we're not, like, I think in an ideal world you would have had a reboot but still had your Gal Gadot's, your Henry Cavill's and stuff there, because I do think the casting was good, and I do think the actors, you know, well, Ben Affleck's incredible, like as Batman, like all those actors, I think Jesse Eisenberg maybe aside, did a good job at kind of, you know, putting the characters to screen. It's just everything that came with the character that was the problem, really, the actual film.
Yeah, it's funny, like, I still maintain that the best comic book movie adaptations are still from DC. Like, they're calling them the Elseworlds now, but the likes of the Batman and Batman Returns, obviously the Nolan trilogy, The Batman, and Joker, they are great movies, like, and I you know, I just think they're just fantastic, well put together films, and I would prefer them over Marvel. But it's funny how it's the Elseworld stuff, the kind of self-contained. I think when DC kind of start to make links towards other universes and characters, and they rushed that's where they lost. But whereas
That's
Marvel's
where
got
I've been with the
DCU
comic.
into their plan.
Sorry, Marco.
No, go for it, Ben.
That's exactly where I've been with the comics for years. Like, since the New 52 stuff, like, I've always preferred the Black Label DC books, the independent stories, the graphic novels. You know, I've always preferred those kind of self-contained stories to, you know, the New 52, try and connect everything. And so I don't know whether it's just like a DC thing that they do better just to focus on one story at a time, sort of thing. I don't know. It's
maybe that's just, I suppose it's.
But then Marvel's starting to struggle, you know. So the cracks are starting to show at Marvel now,
yeah,
you know. So that bubble's burst.
It's oversaturated, isn't it? Like,
oh, I thought you were saying it was over. I was like, wow.
It's not.
No.
I'll be
like,
the last to say it's over for Marvel.
Like,
me,
it's.
But I'm starting to struggle to defend.
I just find Marvel knew where they were going, and they were like saying, okay, this is going to be like a 10-year plan. You know what I mean? Or whatever. Like, they did have that kind of, right, you know, we're going to put this Iron Man movie out, and this Thor, and then this Cap, and then they're all a little links to the story is going to feed into one movie, and we got that culmination in Endgame. And maybe at the moment we're just in that kind of shoulder season in the phases where, like, they're setting up the next mind-blowing thing, and maybe that's wishful thinking on my part, but I haven't seen Quantumania yet. And the last good movie that I saw from Marvel was No Way Home, and that's like a year and a half ago, maybe. Have you seen Quantumania, Ben?
Yes, I have indeed.
Would you give it a thumbs up or thumbs down in a binary world? And Ben,
and it really
we often.
Me. It really pains
I haven't
me
seen
to
it.
do that.
I haven't seen it, but we are often on the same wavelength when it comes to movies. For example, Black Adam, we were 100% on the same wavelength. Multiverse of Madness, I believe we were on the same wavelength there. I wasn't a fan. I think we had a discussion before. Would that be right?
What one? Sorry.
Multiverse of Madness. I personally.
Oh yeah, no, we
was
both didn't. Yeah, it was awkward because Leia loved it.
A lot of the time we
both
kind of were similar wavelengths when it comes to certain movies, but right. So I'm just going to scan through this briefly there anyway. Sorry, apologies to any diehard DCEU fans in the chat. I don't mean to offend. It's just a lot of those movies didn't do much for me. But I actually liked the Supergirl in this, though, this particular trailer. I think there's a lot in this trailer I actually did. I wouldn't say I'm hyped for it, but I was like, it does look interesting. It does look good. They've cut a nice trailer. Obviously, Keaton, I actually think the Supergirl is interesting. I'm not a fan of Batfleck, but I really like the look of that blue cape and cowl with the kind of traditional grey. That's like a classic kind of look, and on that beast of a bike. I think that's happening, to be honest. This is obviously exciting. Even the fact that there's two Flashes, not that I'm the biggest fan of the Flash or anything, I think that'll be an interesting dynamic. I kind of go back to what Ben said when it comes to Keaton. If this film is absolute trash, it's not going to tarnish my love of 89 or 92.
No, of course not.
But if they start putting a load of really trashy, cheesy dialogue to Michael Keaton, like there was a bit in the trailer, it's like, what do we do now? Try not to die. I was, Michael, I just, it's not the worst line I've ever heard, but I was still a bit.
It's not inconsistent with the tone of Batman 89 from someone who just watched it, though. I get, like, we hold it to a different standard because that was one of the first, but it's not completely out of character, I'd say.
But he didn't really talk too much with the cowl on, did he? I know he said, I'm Batman, and it was a bit tongue-in-cheek, but it was kind of raspy. I thought it worked. And I'm going to see this film. It's going to be good. Right, Ben, we're going to move into the figures that you think are going to pop up for here. Potential releases that you think, if you had to put your money on it, like, and you'd pick 3 figures that are like, they're coming from this particular movie. Ben Thomas, what do you think?
So, if you guys have not seen the animated film Flashpoint Paradox, I would 100% recommend it. It is a fantastic version of Flashpoint from the comics, and easy to watch, really exciting. I agree with what Ben was saying earlier. I don't want this version of Keaton to wreck my original feelings of Keaton Batman from 89. I'm wondering, it's just a total guess based on what I know about the comics and the other film, the animated movie, if this is actually Bruce Wayne under the cowl, or if it's Thomas Wayne under the cowl. I don't think this is going to be the only suit, obviously, that we see
I like that.
from this film. And if his character seems a little bit different right now, I'm wondering if we're going to see him in his Thomas Wayne Batman outfit, which actually dons more of like a gray and red theme with guns and like a very, very different Batman than the 89 Keaton Batman that we've seen in the past. So that being said, I'm hoping we see something along those lines of either this bat suit or some of his other bat suits that we got a chance to see in the cave, because there's some pretty cool ones in there, a couple Easter eggs. I didn't love the previous Ezra Miller Flash outfit. I like this version more. If I were going to get an Ezra Miller Flash, it would be the suit that we're seeing here. These look fantastic.
This one here?
Yes, I like that a lot more than the armor plated looking one that he had in the previous films. And then I like the Supergirl look. I think she looks like a badass in the trailer. It is not what my mind's eye think of when I think of Supergirl, and I like that. I like that it's kind of feels very alternate universe Superman. Or Superwoman. So I think that's very, very cool. What I hope they don't do is re-release Zod. I think the previous version is actually pretty good. The only reason I would want to see another Zod is if they gave us another head sculpt. Because the first head sculpt was actually really good for the age of that figure. I saw it recently in hand, and I almost bought it, and I talked myself out of it.
You blew it. No,
I know.
You made the right move.
I was falling into the FOMO hole, and I almost bought him because I knew he was going to be in this film, and I talked myself out of it. It was just under $300 Canadian.
Should have
so
got it.
It's like,
Should have got it.
I heard that story. You know,
he's
I
still
watch
in the
you guys,
store. I could go back, but I'm like, ooh, I don't know.
I watch you guys every Wednesday morning, like on the way to work or whatever, and I heard that story, and I was thinking, my man, you know, it's that level of discipline. I just don't feel like I need it, even though I'm like, oh, I should get it because it's going to be a good movie and it's going to be sought after and all this. Those aren't the right reasons to collect. No,
You're
because
right, Ben.
you said earlier on that like the 89 was just like you were just like, I watched your
Mega nostalgia.
your kind of your what you call it, like a preview
Breakdown
of it,
thoughts
not a
on it,
yeah. And it was just so clear that it was like, this is something you'd like since you were a kid. It was a no-brainer. Whereas now you're kind of going, oh, I should get this. That's if you're on the fence, these are too expensive to be on
Not
the
the
fence.
right, exactly. And I've got so many other cool things coming for the collection. This would be one of those figures that I put in the collection, and then once things start to fill up, something would have to go. And I don't like buying and reselling. Like once it's in my collection, I like it to stay. So, but yeah. So as I said, quick recap. A couple of those Batman suits would definitely be cool. The new Flash, the new Supergirl. I think those would be my top 3 that I would want to collect from what I've seen from the trailer so far.
Marco, thank you, Ben. Marco?
Yeah, so I'm going to leave some meat on the bone for the other Ben. So I'll go with some deeper cuts here, but I think the Ben Affleck from the beginning, right? We've got the blue cowl and cape. He's kind of got like a Shang-Chi situation going on where he's got a little bra, which I'm not the hugest fan of. Yeah, I'm not the hugest fan of that, but okay, they're trying to differentiate it because I am certain, I think it was Ben Thomas had said, with the new reboot, they're probably going to do this gray and blue. It would be a
Damn
good
it,
way
Marco!
for them to
I cannot see that shit. Oh my!
I know,
Damn
right?
you!
So, I know
Batman in sports bra.
if they simply took the BVS suit,
Sports bat.
that's right. If they simply took the BVS suit and just made the cowl and cape blue, it would have been a no-brainer, right? But this tactical, kind of in between that they tried to do, it's not working in this one. Still, we saw, but I do think we'll get this right. They love the Ben Affleck Batman, and they've already got a bunch of molds for it. So I'm gonna say that one's coming. This one's a deeper cut. I don't believe it's a spoiler because it's in the trailers, but if you were adverse to any type of spoilers, maybe cover your ears for the next 15 seconds. But we know there's 2 Flashes. We see some glimpses of the second Flash, and he's got a different suit on. And it appears that they've taken one of Batman's suits, so I'm assuming it's Keaton's Batman, and they've spray painted it red and gold, basically. So I think that would be a really cool version of the Flash that has a base suit of Batman with some Flash coloring on top of it. So I think that would look incredible, and we'll see how it kind of functions in the film. And then the last one, so Ben already said Supergirl. I think that's going to be an absolute banger. So I cannot wait for that. Let me just go with 2 because I want to leave some options for Ben, but I think those are the 2 that we're going to see here.
And Ben, thanks, Marco.
I didn't know we weren't allowed to retread other people's suggestions because I've got nothing left.
Oh, things have changed since the last time you've been on a stream.
It's all very strict,
yeah,
know.
very strict. Like, there's 2 Batmobiles now. People are going fucking crazy, man. Sorry.
I don't want to make the chat kick off again. No, I agree with Ben and Marco. Like, I think we'll get Supergirl. I think that design is just fantastic. Really kind of original. It's a great take on the character. I don't think we'll get that Flash with the customized Batsuit because it just looks so goofy. Like, I think it'll be a funny moment in the film, like he's going to come out and the ears are chopped off and stuff like that. But I've seen the leaked promotional image and it looks ridiculous. I can't imagine many people.
Hot Toys is already going to have the molds potentially, so come on, think about how easy it would be for them to do it, right?
Well, if they do, it'll be interesting to see who actually wants that. I think it's going to be a very unique situation anyway, in the sense that with all of the news going on around Ezra Miller, like, will they release a figure of him at this point in time? Like, I think that's going to be really you do, yeah. I
think they will, because if you remember, sorry, what were the? Sorry, I don't want to interrupt you.
No, I mean it's a pretty generic answer, but I think the other one will just be the Keaton updated suit. They'll maybe add a couple of wrinkles around the mouth and Bob's your uncle. So, because I think the suit's more similar to the Batman Returns suit anyway, so they can potentially kind of reuse those molds. He might have some new gadgets that we haven't seen before. They can include those, and maybe they'll include the Bat computers with that release. So yeah.
Can I say how happy I am though that they decided to release the 89 ahead of announcing any figure of Keaton from this, because we all would have wanted that gold belt, and so Hot Toys was smart
with 89 branding. That is the
Yes.
key.
Yes.
I think when I saw it in the tease in the Comic-Con or whatever it was last summer, I was like, that's coming. That's definitely coming now. I know that they put things in the graveyard and stuff like that, but I was like, no, they didn't just show you something new that they could make like a Zemo. That was like something we'd made before and now it's back. And we have all these accessories as well. So I was like, yeah, that's coming. But the Batmobile, I was kind of going, yeah, that's a possibility, but I didn't think they'd do them together. I did not think they'd go, here's everything you've ever wanted. You know what I mean? So my picks then, a few months ago, I think it was, they released a short kind of video thing on their Instagram, and it basically said, we've got new licenses. It was something like The Flash, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, John Wick, and there was maybe 2 or 3 other things as well. And this, they're going to give us The Flash. The movie is entitled The Flash. Ezra Miller or whatever, I would imagine they're going to give us that new suit. I think they're going to give us what's on screen now, the Batfleck with the blue cowl, cape, grey suit on that thing that looks like a Batpod. I think they're going to do that. Maybe they do it separately, but I think that's happening. Just from the trailer alone, it's just too bloody cool not to do. They can do that Batpods type of stuff. They've shown that they can do the things. I think that's going to happen as well. And I think you're going to get a Zod 2.0 or a lazy Zod, 1.5 with like maybe updated paint apps and some sort of a rock base or whatever he's on, or
Didn't know what you meant by lazy then. I thought you meant like Zod on a sofa eating Doritos.
Yeah, exactly. But people in the chat, let us know what you think is gonna. There's like a myriad of different things that can be dropped from this. But people in the chat, please chime in and let us know from just based on the Flash trailer alone, what do you think that can realistically happen? Ben, are you still good for another few minutes, or is it time to go now?
I got about 5 minutes.
Cool. You just chime in then and just let us know where. Just if I'm mid sentence, just cut across me.
Skiving off work, unbelievable.
Yeah, you hate to see it.
Well, I see this. A lot of people in the chat. I see Mr. Mom's Collectibles. Ryan here was saying, 16 Focus. What's up, brother? At work, watching this stream, enjoying the content. So there's just people who are working who's listening. Just going to adjust a few more of these. God forbid if I ever get a neck injury. And I know where this is going. Instead of wearing a neck brace, I would wear a Keaton Batman cowl. That would be cool. And yeah, exactly. You wouldn't be able to.
Definitely actually be pretty cool.
Yeah, that would definitely work. You'd be doing dramatic turns everywhere. What if Batman straps the Flash to the hood of the Batmobile to achieve Speed Force and becomes the Red Death? You never know.
Love that.
The royalty payments will help his habit. Oh, this is an Ezra Miller. I should really start proofreading these. The new Affleck suit looks like the blue and grey. The motorcycle protection padding over it looks cool. Okay, I'm not sure if you. Marco reckons it looks like a bat bra, but so you actually like the kind of armor. I presume it'll look cool. Okay, you want to go through the panel. When you first saw the trailer for the Batman, now in a binary world of ones and zeros, if you had to give it a thumbs up or thumbs down, when your first impression of the Robert Pattinson Batsuit, was that a thumbs up or a thumbs down, Marco?
I would say a thumbs down. I did not like it at first.
Ben, thumbs.
I also did not like it at first because of the color.
And UK Ben.
I loved it.
It's 3 against 1. However,
how dare you?
However, having seen the movie and the standard of the movie, and actually having seen, in-arts versions and Hot Toys versions and all the little intricate details, for me, I'm coming around to it because the strength of the movie kind of made me like it more, and the action scenes and everything like that. It's still not my favorite Batsuit, but I'm definitely kind of coming around to it so much so that I want one. But
there's a point in the movie where he's standing on one of the. Sorry, I know you're. Let me defer to one of the Bens. I'm talking way too much. Where he's kind of on top of one of the ledges, and I think they shot this film in front of the volume for this particular scene. But he's standing there. You kind of see the silhouette of he and Catwoman, and it looks so perfect. I'm like, this is Batman. They've captured this so perfectly. I completely came around on the suit and on Robert Pattinson at that moment in the film.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
And is that how you felt, Ben Thomas?
Yeah, I mean, I've got the in-art one coming now. After seeing the film, I loved it. Not as much as I loved The Dark Knight. I mean, I saw The Dark Knight in theaters, I think, like 12 times. I'm not kidding, but still loved it enough to spend that little extra money and get the nice premium-looking one in the collection. So, and I thought the function of the suit made more sense, like especially for how it helped him be a little bit more bulletproof around his neck area and stuff. Like, it made more sense once I saw it in action.
Yeah, I wonder, like, I'd love to see, like, some sort of a meme where you'd have, like, Mr. Freeze, Joker, the Riddler, Two-Face, Bane all sitting around the table, like, kind of, like brainstorming, and then one guy going, what if we shoot him in the mouth? Just I think that would make me laugh.
That hallway sequence where they're just unloading on him, right? It's a beautifully shot sequence, but I'm like, his entire face is exposed. At any point in time, he would be done. But it's Batman for you.
That was more for me. It was when the casket exploded in that scene, like the funeral scene, and that didn't take him out. That was the only like break of immersion for me in the film that I had. I was like,
that was the Fonzie jumping the shark
hurt him
scene
a little
for you,
more
was
than
it?
it did, I think. But that's one of those things.
That
Movie
and
magic.
the flight suit where he hits the top of the bus. It's like, okay, this guy is not
yeah, I forgot
bulletproof.
about that.
Yeah.
I love
There's a few too many goofy.
I should have crumpled him on the pavement. And I'd have been poor guy's in a wheelchair now.
Like, I actually loved all that. I mean, that flight suit scene gets a lot of slack, but I wince every time I watch it, and then I kind of laugh a bit. That looked like it hurt, but there's no way you're going to survive. But it did look like the way the sound engineering and just the speed he hits that bloody bus or whatever. They looked like it hurt.
I mean,
It's kind of a comedic beat. Oh, go ahead.
I still like that scene better than the Indiana Jones scene in Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, where he avoids a nuclear explosion in a refrigerator and then gets out and he's like, "Holy cow! Like that was quite the throw," That was an immersion-breaking scene. Holy cow!
It's a low bar.
I want to put something up on the screen there. Just I want to solo this. This is like 100% giving me Dark Knight vibes. Like, am I wrong here, or does it?
It looks like the Bat as well. So yeah, totally.
It does look like the Bat, and I thought, is this like something that they're holding back? And they're going to do like a Christian Bale reveal. I know that's not going to happen. I really hope it does not. Because Christian Bale said himself he won't come back and do another Batman unless the only situation was if Nolan was up for it, which would be cool. But this does look like the Bat, and the bike looks like the Bat pod. But this is a Zod ship, I think, isn't it?
I don't recognize it, but
I think that there's a shot that shows him dropping out of this ship. So I think it is actually a version of the Bat.
Ah, right. So this is his Batwing, basically, in this universe.
Exactly.
That's pretty cool, though. That is pretty cool. And this I think this would be beautiful with the, I'm not the biggest Batfleck fan, but there's just the combination, the blue and grey, right. So.
Ready, boys?
Ben,
I gotta get going, unfortunately. Yeah, gotta get my butt to work. So
Ben, how badly do you need this job? Just sit here and talk dolls with us all day.
I in order to pay for everything that I have coming, I'd better
Just
rock
a
some
little
home
bit.
show stuff. So,
Crush it, buddy.
yeah, but it was definitely good seeing you guys. If Joao comes in, make sure he tells you everything is okay, as he normally would. Ben, good to see you again, buddy.
You
Let's
too,
talk
my
again
friend.
soon, and see everybody in the chat. If you haven't checked out the Ben Thomas show, we're about 10 subs away from 1,200 already, which is crazy. I'm gonna start having at least a weekly live stream at some point. I'm looking at kind of Sunday afternoons after Layout stream, so stay tuned for that. I'll put a note up in everybody's chats when we get a chance. Love to have you guys on at some point as well. But anybody who else wants to join, if you're ever in the chat and you want to try a live stream at some point, shoot me a message and we can go from there. So, but love you guys. I'll catch you on the next one.
Excellent. Thanks for
Take
joining,
care,
Ben.
Talk
See you,
to
Ben. See you. All right. So then there were 3. So really quickly, I'll address some of these chats here. So oh, we got a spicy one here. I want the Bay suit with the pew pew. That's funny. Chudi still world champions. I'm not sure what we're talking about there. Is this a sports reference? Hot Toys Hotline says, I like the flight suit scene. It's symbolic that he still kind of becoming Batman, learning. Yeah, I like that. I like that. It's like when in Begins he gets set on fire and stuff like that, and he just like, you know, it's a learning curve, I'd imagine, being a superhero, you know. So they blew it up in Justice League. What was that?
His other version of the bat,
right,
or
yeah,
the
yeah.
bat.
Do you think Batfleck will have his new Batmobile in the shown, both versions destroyed? Well, it's a different multiverse. You can kind of have anything, like, you know.
Could have 5 versions of a Batmobile,
Yeah.
potentially.
Yeah.
I would think that they don't show a Batmobile, but they show these 2 items. I feel like, okay, this is for this assignment. He needs to be a bit more nimble, so they bust out the Batwing and the bicycle. Because at that point, do you still need a Batmobile? I don't know.
Yeah. This is a comment for you and me, Marco. You know when there's dots on the end of something, it's just designed to provoke reaction. Like, you know what I mean? You know, look, it's everyone's entitled to their opinion. Apart from you, you're just wrong, Star Crash.
That's right.
W is showing the whole movie in, it's a CinemaCon? 2 months before release, so they have a lot of faith in it. Yeah, okay, good stuff. Kinky Sphincter flying the flag here. Bale the best, Batfleck second, and Keaton third. You're nearly there, Kinky. You're nearly there, right? I'm only messing. Again, everyone's entitled to their own opinion. Bale is definitely the best Batman. Look what you've started, Star Crush. Julie, who's KS, is agreeing. I hated Bale's Batman voice. Very annoying. Why? You know what? Like, even as a diehard Nolan fan and Bale fan, and he is my Batman, I can totally see the voice thing. Like, I get that. Like, in fairness, I thought he had too much dialogue as Batman. He talked a little bit, spoke a bit too much, maybe. Maybe that was the full-blown conversations. You think at some point he'd go, do you know what? Sorry, can I just stop this? You know who I am, and just have a conversation. You know, it's. I thought maybe it was a little bit too much.
Pattinson is Batman for pretty much like 90% of that film, and I don't think he's I think he finds the balance well of like doing like a gruff version to disguise who he actually is, but it not sounding ridiculous. Like, I love Bale as you know, I love the Dark Knight trilogy, but
I think
playing
for
devil's
Batfleck,
advocate.
There you go. I think for Batfleck, they got it the most right. He would have a voice modulator. Obviously, he's got that tech available. And yeah, it just sounded so cool. Like the Tell Me Do You Bleed? That's still one of the coolest parts of the film.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. Cool. I actually thought in Batman Begins, the voice was, I thought he had a good balance. Like, you know, do you know the scene where he's standing there and he's talking to Rachel Dawes and the whole cape's over him? He's kind of like, you know, I rattled his cage, and it was kind of a bit. It wasn't too much, or even like, I like that bit. You know, I swear, and he's like, swear to me. You know, I thought that was good. Like, it was aggressive. And
I
it was like, yeah,
it.
that was scary. But I think it's say the last Joker scene in The Dark Knight where he's like, there are people willing to do good, and it's like, it's just a bit maybe too much dialogue, but it's a minor. A minor gripe, personally. Like,
come on, that movie is perfect. There are no flaws. We cannot talk about them.
Hey, look, it's a 5-star movie, but I still, they're little nitpicks. Like,
there are a lot of flaws in that film, but it is great despite those.
Yeah, Boba Fettuccine chiming in with Adam West for the win. Oh yeah. Kay Carter saying each their own. I'm happy to see Ben as Bats again. It's like an unwinnable. There's no right answer. Like. So, yeah, you're in this multiverse, man. You've signed a non-disclosure agreement.
Can you imagine how horrendous I'd look in any of those suits?
I'd watch it, man. I'd watch it. Oh yeah. Keaton, the best Batman, the best Bruce Wayne, and never like Affleck. That's just funny. Battison is the new king. A lot of people like him, Battison. Love the movie trilogy, but Bale hurts. Sorry, that's interesting. He loves like the actual trilogy, but just not a fan of Bale. That's fair enough. That's fair enough. I just love Christian Bale. Like, I just think he's just a great actor.
He's the best
I'm
Bruce
interested-
Wayne, I think, Bale. I've
A lot
always
of-
thought he
yeah.
was the best Bruce Wayne, but not necessarily the best Batman. For me, I think Pattinson and Affleck are the best Batman, if that makes
See,
sense.
For me, when I look at the DX-19, I'm like, that is the suit I always wanted to see. It's like a futuristic, practical Batman suit. Just looks the part, the proportions, the kind of the coloring on it. And like, there are a few movies that no matter how much I rewatch them, certain scenes still make the hairs on the back of my neck stand up. And one of them is actually just the multiple parts in Batman Begins and multiple parts in The Dark Knight Rises. But just a simple example is, like, usually I watch the Dark Knight trilogy once a year. I just like maybe put a day aside and I watch the whole trilogy, and it's a fantastic bloody day. And I don't want to do it too much, because I just it's nearly like it's new again when you rewatch it. But you know that scene in The Dark Knight Rises, right, where it's a good bit into the movie where the Batpod just like the lights, like in some tunnel, just like get knocked off by an EMP. The cops don't know what happened, and the next thing, the Batpod just goes by, and Batman like takes out a few bad guys, and the cop goes, "Oh boy, you're in for a show tonight." And you see Batman stand there. It's just like, this guy
Hans
has been
Zimmer's
a
there
myth.
going,
Yes, exactly. It's like, this guy's been a nocturnal urban legend for 8 years. Did we imagine that? Did that actually happen? Next thing, just, oh man, that's just rock and roll
Chills.
right there, man.
Agree.
But
Oliver Pilgrim's comment, it might be my favourite suggestion of everything, I think, so far, if you can find that.
Oliver
I think
Will
he
Arnett,
wins
the
out.
next Batman. Is that?
There we
I don't
go.
get the reference. Is that like based on
Lego
a parody?
Batman, baby.
Ah, yes. I gotcha. Keith, the 6th scale Padawan. We were messaging back and forth today. He's a Star Wars collector / 89 Batman. He got sucked in, delighted. Did you contact that company about the Batmobile? I'm not sure if they are getting more in, but I went with Lion Rock Toys anyway. Keith, let us know if you've contacted them. So, nobody will ever top Kevin Conroy. Rest in peace. Christian Bale is the best Patrick Bateman. 1 second, I just need to go return some videotapes. So, Oliver Pilgrim. I think we're going to wrap it up there, folks. Unless anyone else has anything to add?
Can't wait for this film. I wish that it was coming before Shazam, but I guess we'll have to suffer through another mediocre to bad DCEU film before we get to this.
You know, Shazam genuinely might be one of the first superhero comic book movies in like 20 years that I've not gone to see in the cinema, because I just haven't been given a reason to go and see it yet. Like, the trailers, the marketing, nothing is enticing me. And I did enjoy the first one. I thought it was a lot of fun. It surprised me a lot, sold me on the idea of Shazam that I've never been sold on before. But this film just
from the first trailer. Yeah, there you go. From the first trailer, you could just tell, like, this looks bad. And I felt the same way about Quantumania, which I did end up enjoying. But I was like, this just doesn't look good. It just looks way too off the rails. So who knows? Maybe they'll pull it off, but it seems like it's not going to be a success.
So did you both saw Quantumania and thumbs down from the two?
I give it a thumbs up, honestly. I enjoyed
really?
Quantumania.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not very good. But it was an enjoyable time, honestly. It's weird because you hold different.
We need to
films
talk about your
different
ranking
standards.
system,
Yeah,
mate.
you could have a good time. You can enjoy something.
It's not very
and
good.
Still, yeah, you can enjoy something and still not think it's a good movie, right? Like,
That's fair.
The Dark Knight Rises, I would say, is a good film. I just
Easy.
didn't enjoy it a ton.
Careful now.
I didn't enjoy it a ton because it was coming off the back of The Dark Knight. I had such a high standard for it.
Make me
It
come
just-
over there, Marco.
That's right. So if we're comparing that versus Quantumania, obviously one's a very competent film and one's a CG mess, but I had more fun with one of those.
The Dark Knight Rises. Anyway, so so in conclusion, this whole live stream obviously was based around the Flash trailer and speculation or flashulation. I sorry, I just chuckled to myself every time. I'm sad, but The figures we anticipate coming collectively were a version of, I personally think that the Ben Affleck Batman with the blue cowl, blue cape, and grey suit, and I do think they're going to give us that Batpod thing. The Flash, some version of the Flash is going to arrive, possibly. Maybe a Zod 2.0. This is all speculation. None of us have any inside knowledge apart from Ben.
I got Howard
Yep.
on that.
Yeah,
Fine.
good. On speed dial.
It's been texting me saying, "What are you talking about during this stream?" Yeah.
Possibly a Supergirl, and then of course Old Man Keaton. So they're all just possibilities. I genuinely think though we're going to get that that Batfleck on the bike, man. I think it's just the type of thing that will sell. I think it just looks cool. It please a lot of DCU fans, the Batfleck fans, the vehicle fans, the fans of this movie or the classic blue and grey look. But yeah, look. Anyway, let's stop. Marco, what's coming up on the channel?
Yeah, so on our channel, Gigi and I just recently did an episode of the She Said No podcast. Go check that out. We talk 89 Batmobile. She's not very happy, so if you missed that, check that one out. Tonight on my channel, LWO, so 7:30 Pacific time, 10:30 Eastern time. Normally we start pretty late, but on my channel, we're going to try to start right on time. Oh, there's Gigi right there.
There she
and then
is.
hopefully we
Keep
do
an eye on
some...
you and your pre-order list. She's a smart woman.
That's right. Hopefully we do some bargain bin bros here in the near future. I've got some ideas for some live streams and also some pre-recorded videos where I want to talk about some issues. So yeah, come check us out over at 16fix. And Shane, thank you for having me. It was a really good time.
Man. It's great to. I'm surprised you didn't have Joao. I wonder, like he said he was up for the stream. Maybe we got our wires crossed in terms of times.
He
saw
probably
that I
fell
came
asleep,
on and
honestly.
changed his mind.
Yeah, and you know what? I know how that is as well. Like,
Yeah,
so,
we started at midnight his time, so I couldn't make it. that late.
yeah. It's like when I get up for LWO at silly o'clock, but it's always worth it. It's a great stream. So subscribe to 16fix on YouTube and follow at 16. It's like 1_6_fix on Instagram. Where are you at the moment with the subs, Marco?
Let's see, we're just over 800 subs, and so yeah, we're marching our way to 1,000. Yeah,
We're
so
gonna get there. Good
yeah,
stuff.
we'll get there very soon, hopefully.
And you must be close to 1,000, Ben.
Yeah, I wouldn't say marching my way, more like crawling through thick mud, just struggling. I'm nearly there. I'm around about the same sort of mark, about 840 or something.
Good stuff. So,
So,
is there anything
yeah.
coming up on your channel?
So every day I'm posting a Star Wars joke a day. So I found a Star Wars joke book and I filmed me telling those jokes. They're awful. There's a lot of dad jokes in there. Shane, I think you would be a big fan of some of the puns.
Now you know there's no way you're getting off this live stream. I want at least 3. Come on.
I can't think of any. I mean, there was a joke about Cloud City, but I won't tell that because it'll probably just go over your head. I'm gonna
Love
leave
it.
it there because I peaked. But yeah, so that's over on my channel every day. So if you subscribe and hit the notification bell, you won't miss those. Hoping to do some new geeky gas bag live streams. I've been on hiatus for a little while with bits and bobs going on. So I'm hoping to sort of start that again. And interestingly enough, Ant-Man Quantumania, if you want to hear my opinion and a 15-minute rant on MODOK that I made, you can head over to Triple G Comics channel. We did a live stream giving our thoughts on the film.
Good stuff. I have a Star Wars joke, and
Go on.
it's a very low standard. So, what's a Jedi's favorite software program?
I don't know.
It's Adobe One Kenobi.
Nice. Nice. I'm almost annoyed that's not one of my favorite jokes.
Oh,
Please
boy.
randomly message me on Instagram with some of those jokes. Actually, no, I'll just actually watch the video. That would make more sense. Just watch the content.
Have you both been watching The Last of Us?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
What's the name of the person that wrote the book? I know Joel says you're no such and such. I should know it's the same name from the game. Anyways,
I can't remember.
I thought this was a joke. I thought you were setting up for a joke.
No,
no.
I can't remember the name. But I just watched the recent episodes. That episode 6, was it?
I think so.
I have to say, I really liked Bella Ramsey. That's her name, Bella Ramsey?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
In Game of Thrones. I thought she was like absolute boss of a character, the way she kind of ended up like being in charge nearly of that of a certain kind of a clan or family there. I can't remember. It's been a long time. But she is the star of the show. Her timing, her quick wit. She gets the best lines. The way her delivery. I'm loving it, and I have not played the game, but yeah,
She's crushing it. Yep.
crushing it. All right, folks, if you haven't done so already, follow at Attention Seeking Geek on Instagram and subscribe to Attention Seeking Geek on YouTube. My own channel as well. What's coming up? I've got a live stream later on tonight. It's another episode of Visions. I haven't done an episode of Visions in a while. It's with Luminara, aka I think they call it a matriarch. So it's just an episode of Visions talking about the past, the present, and the future of her collecting journey. That's 10 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time, which is 5 p.m. New York time, and that would be I think 3 p.m. West Coast. So if you want to kind of tune in for some 1/6 scale content, it's right before Figure Flex Friday on Nail's channel. So yeah, other than that, I'm just going to be staying tuned for any updates and stuff like that, and then I'll drop the content as we get new announcements and everything. Thanks very much to Marco, and thanks very much to Ben, the Attention Seeking Geek. And if you haven't done so already, please consider liking the video and subscribing to 1/6 Figure Focus on YouTube. And that's us out. See you, folks.